Annette and welcome back to Cotto Verde. Today I'm going to be sowing Aquilegia. Aquilegia are also called Columbines or Granny's Bonnets. I think they're most frequently called Columbines in the States, and we call them Granny's Bonnets here in the UK because the flowers look a little bit like an old-fashioned Granny's bonnet. It's a gorgeous sunny day today, right at the beginning of August, and this is the perfect time for me to sow my Aquilegia. Aquilegias tend to flower from April through to June, and then they will set seed and start to drop their seeds in the ground. When an Aquilegia has seed pods, they kind of look like this. So this is the seed pod on the top here, and if I shake it, you can hear seeds dropping out everywhere. So the seeds are all inside. This is the pod and the seeds are inside here. But I'm not collecting seeds from my garden today because I have so many Aquilegias that set seed in the garden that they self-seed and they germinate themselves, and I don't need to sow those ones. So what I like to sow are the ones that I don't already have. So today I am sowing, one of the tallest Aquilegias I'm sowing is a white Aquilegia called Lime Sorbet. It's got like kind of limey green tips to it, which is I guess where it got its name, and that grows to 75 centimetres. I'm also sowing Aquilegia Green Apples, and this is quite similar, just not as tall, and I think it's fuller petalled. And I'm sowing something called Aquilegia Cristal, and this has got really long spurs coming off the top of it, and it's very pure white. I'm very excited about that one. I'm also sowing Aquilegia Fragrance, which is one of the few sweet smelling Aquilegia. In fact, I don't know whether the others smell so much, but obviously it's called Fragrance because this is the one that is sweet smelling, and it's kind of like a creamy white colour, and it grows to 40 to 50 centimetres, and this one is native to like subalpine meadows in the Himalayas, so you can imagine it's sort of a very delicate little pretty one. I'm also sowing a mix of Aquilegia seeds. I just thought it'd be fun to see, you know, what germinated and which colours I might get from that. So I'm also sowing something called Aquilegia Rose Queen, and this has got really large blossoms that are like rose with a white corolla, and the corolla is like the central area. Hopefully you can see it on the picture. And I'm sowing one that is very special to me, and it's called Aquilegia Canadensis, and it's from Canada, and I'm very excited about sowing this one. It's actually much brighter than all the other Aquilegia that I ever have in my garden. It's kind of like a scarlet orange and a sort of lemony yellow, and I think it looks really pretty, but Canada's very close to my heart, and so I'm very happy to be sowing that one. I'm also sowing Aquilegia Royal Purple. I'm quite excited about this one. I've never had this one in my garden, and it looks like a really sort of beautiful purple colour. And I'm sowing Aquilegia Clematiflora, and when I read about this one it said that a lot of people mistake it for a clematis, and so I'm imagining that it's like big and blousy, and yeah, very much looking forward to having that in my garden. I'm sowing something called a semi-Aquilegia Acalicata. And I think it's called a semi-Aquilegia because it doesn't have the spurs on the back of it, so it's still got like the Aquilegia shaped flower but just without the spurs on the back, and it's like a lovely dusky mauve, and it's quite short, so this is one of the shorter ones. It's only 30 centimetres, so I think it'd be good at the front of the border, or if you have a rockery it would look pretty in a rockery, or maybe it's a good one for a pot. I'm also saying Aquilegia Flabellata Pumila Rosea, and this one's sort of a lovely sort of rosy pink and cream colour, and it gets to 20 centimetres tall, so it's a dwarf one, another one for the front of the border or pots or a rockery. This one is native to Eastern Asia, I think like Japan and Korea. And then the final one that I'm sowing is called Aquilegia Scopulorum, and it's really tiny. So like when I say it's tiny, it's very short, but it's got surprisingly large flowers. My packet's got deep blue flowers on it, but I think it comes in all shades, so I'm interested to see what actually germinates and the colour of flowers I get, but I think it comes in all shades of blue, that's what I should say. And this one's got surprisingly large flowers, as I said, but with really long spurs, and it comes from the Rocky Mountains, and it's also called the Utah Columbine. So you can imagine it comes from that sort of area, and I'm very excited because it sounds really cute and short, and I'm just wondering whether it's going to bloom at the same time as maybe some of my irises and some of my, you know, smaller tulips, and whether it's just going to set those off on like a nice tablescape. So I'm quite excited about that too. The cells I'm using are exactly the same ones that I always use, and they're these 40 cell seed trays. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know that, you know, you can use anything. You could use like a Tupperware dish if you poke holes in the bottom. So just use whatever's available to you. So I use a seed tray, then I use something sturdier with drainage holes in the bottom, and you know, one thing goes inside the other, and that way it gives the seed tray, which is slightly weaker, a little bit of support. So I'm using the Melcourt Silver Grow peat-free compost, which is the compost that I always use. This isn't an ad, it's just the compost that I like to sow my seeds into. It's not a seed compost actually, it's just an ordinary multi-purpose compost, but it's peat-free and I like the structure, and I found this one to be really good. It is more expensive to buy peat-free at the moment. I'm really hoping that the prices come down, but if you're able to find any peat-free compost in your budget, then please do use peat-free compost, or you can use a seed sowing compost. That's absolutely fine. A lot of people will pre-moisten their compost. If you like to pre-moisten it, then, you know, don't soak it too much. You don't want any liquid to come out when you squeeze it, and you can pre-moisten it and then sow your seeds in it, and then give them a mist afterwards to make sure that they're all a little bit damp. I prefer to bottom water my compost, so I put the compost in as it comes out of the packet into my seed tray, and then I bottom water afterwards, and capillary action just enables the compost to absorb all the moisture that it needs. So Aquilegia seeds aren't nearly as tiny as some of the other seeds that we sow, so it's quite easy to be able to just sort of pick one out and put it in a cell, and that's literally all I'm going to do. I'm going to label each of my rows because I like to know what I'm sowing, because I'm sowing different varieties. But if you're only sowing one, then, you know, you might not need to label it if you think you can remember, but my advice is always to err on the side of caution, because you think you're going to remember and then you never do. So once I've filled my seed tray with compost and leveled it out, what I tend to do is try to sow one seed into each cell, and that way each tray will have 40 seeds in it. But if my seed is very old, and I tend to write the date that I received the seed on the packet, so if it's like 3 or 4 years old, I will oversow. So I'll definitely sow, you know, maybe 3 or 4 seeds into each cell, just to compensate for the fact that the viability will decrease as your seed ages. So the older it gets, the less viable it is, generally speaking. So if you've got really old seed that's been at the back of a cupboard for a while, then you'll want to sow more than one per cell. When you're sowing your seeds, just give them a really gentle press to make sure that each seed has got good contact with the soil, because if it doesn't have good contact, it's literally never going to grow. Once I've sown my seed, I'm going to sprinkle some vermiculite on top. If you don't have vermiculite, you could just use a very, very thin layer of compost. But I like to use the vermiculite on the Aquilegia because that way it keeps some of the moisture in, and because the seeds might be in here for like up to 90 days, it will help prevent algae growth. So now what I'm going to do is bottom water the seed trays. It's a really simple process. You just leave them in a larger tray of water until you can see that the surface is wet. Once the surface is wet, you know the whole compost is wet because it's absorbing the water from the bottom. It's really easy to see when the vermiculite is on the surface because the vermiculite will really change colour. So that's another way to be able to tell whether your compost is damp. Even though you can sow your seeds outside in the garden, it is better not to use garden soil when you're trying to sow seeds in seed trays, because your garden soil is going to contain lots of weeds. It's going to be very difficult for you to identify which are the weed seeds that are germinating and which are your actual seeds. Also, quite often your garden soil may not be the right structure, so it may be very clay heavy, which our soil is, or it could be very sandy and then it just won't retain enough moisture. So it is better to buy some fresh compost if you can. If you've been making your own compost in the garden, you can use that. But again, that might have some weed seeds. So just use whatever's available, and again, if you want to sow them outside in a drill in the garden, then do that too, because your seeds will probably germinate in the spring. Once my seed trays are fully moistened, I'm going to put them in my cold frame, which gets a fair amount of sun, but it'll also keep them warm, and because it has a lid, I'll be able to keep a lot of the weed seeds off, because they might blow on top of my seed trays. If you want to cover your seeds with a seed propagator lid, you know, one of those clear lids, then you can do that too, and just try to make sure they don't get too hot in there. If you're planting in August and your weather warms up considerably, you'll want to take your lid off because you don't want to bake your seeds. Your seed will take anywhere from 30 days to 90 days to germinate. And if it hasn't germinated after this time, then what you can do is put it in the fridge for like a month and do what's called cold stratification. So that's where the seed goes through a period of very cold, and then you bring it out into the warmth that it thinks, oh, it's spring, I'll germinate now. You can do this naturally by just sowing seed in your garden and leaving them in a sheltered spot over the winter, and then as your climate gets colder, it will naturally cold stratify your plants for you. But if you would like to do this a little bit sooner and make sure that you've got some good seedlings ready for next spring, then you can fake it by cold stratifying them. Sometimes your seeds won't need any cold stratification and they will just germinate because, you know, you've treated them well and they've hit the right temperature and they're just happy seeds. So do give it a go. And if you need to cold stratify them, it's really not difficult if you've got a little bit of room in your fridge to just bung them in the fridge for a month. And the good thing about that is that you don't have to do anything with them, you just leave them there. You don't have to water them, you don't have to check them, just leave them there, put a date on it, and just wait for them to do their month in the fridge and then bring them out again. I hope this has been interesting and useful, and if you have any questions at all, then do leave them in the comments section below, and I will get back to all of you. And if you want to see how these seedlings do and when they germinate, then do follow me on my Instagram channel, because I'll be posting on there whenever the seeds germinate, and I will keep you updated with that. I'll also be doing further videos on this YouTube channel, so do stay tuned and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on those. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. And that has happened for me in the past, and obviously you know, and obviously I don't know what I was going to say actually. If I said freezer, I didn't mean freezer. Don't put them in the freezer, put them in the fridge. Let's just start that again. This one is wasting. This one, I'm just waiting for the plane to go over. Oh, there are two planes. Of course there are. Probably going to run out of battery.